Hello, today is speaking
Flora Eggers.
and Thomas Suedbroecker. Yeah, Flora, you have a very interesting library today for us. So, that's your stage.
I developed a cognitive library on Bluemix. It allows the user to manage books and customers and borrow books and return them too. But what I want to highlight is that there is a chat you can use to borrow books, and you can also listen to a book description.
Cool, I guess you will show it us live.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the user interface. I'm looking for a book, so I'll start by using the chat. I'm getting the answer, "Hi, how may I help you?" So I'm looking for a book about history. Let's see what the chat replies. Okay, so he gives me a list of books on history. Now I can look at the book table, and let's say I'm interested in the book Mayflower. So let the text-to-speech service read me a book description.
About the book Mayflower by Nathaniel Philbrick. From the perilous ocean crossing to the shared bounty of the first Thanksgiving.
Okay, I think I've heard enough. It sounds really interesting, so I think I want to borrow that book. So I'm writing, I want to read the book Mayflower. And yes, I would like to borrow this book. So let's check what my customer ID is. I can just go to the customers table, and I'll copy the ID I need. So he asked for the start date of the rental. I can just say today, because the conversation service recognizes phrases such as today or in 1 month as dates. And now I'm writing the return date. Okay.
Yeah, this is a kind of a cognitive library. Hey, thanks, Flora.
So let's see if I can find it in my list of borrowed books. I'll just look for it using the return date. And as I can see, there it is, starting today, ending on April 15th.
Yeah, so you have to start reading. But before you start reading, I want to understand a little bit more about the background and the architecture behind this cognitive library.
So as you can see, the app is made up of several components. Let's start from the bottom. First, we have the user interface on a web application, and then we have a business logic on a Node.js server, which uses the Watson, conversation, and text-to-speech services. The backend integration is realized by a Cloud Foundry app running on Liberty, which provides the data for the business logic.
Flora, the conversation was very impressive. Can you give us a little bit more detail how the conversation is realized?
Yeah, let me show you the configuration of the service on Bluemix. Here you can see the services connected to the Node.js server, and this is the conversation tool. The conversation is made up of 3 components: intents, entities, and dialogue. The intents help the service recognize the intention of the user input. The intention can be searching, for example, and that can be expressed by the user in different ways. He might say, "I'm looking for a book," or "I need a biography." Some intents are specified by different entities, and they determine the conversation flow. And the conversation flow is structured under dialogue. Let us see what happens when the intent search book is recognized. Now the entity genre is used to see what topic the user is looking for. To make the conversation interactive, the action select books is specified in the output so that the server knows what to do.
I remember you searched for the genre history in your presentation before.
Yes, exactly. In that case, the action parameter was history. So now let's have a look at the code. Here in the Node.js server, I'm checking if the output handed over to me by the conversation service contains the field action, and if so, if this action is select books and has the proper parameters. Then the server makes a request to the Java server, and this returns the list of books I want.
I know you told me before that the authentication is a special topic inside Watson. So, can you tell us about this?
Yes, one thing to note about the Watson services is that you need a backend server to create authorization tokens. That's why I'm using my Node.js server to create the authorization token for the text-to-speech service, which can be called in the front end via a REST API.
Do you have some code for us?
Yeah, sure. This is my code. Here's the server where I create an API to get the token, and here's the client part where I'm using the Watson speech library to call the service. And as you can see, I can define some parameters, for example, the voice.
And how did you integrate a non-SQL database Cloudant into your cognitive library system?
So as you can see, the Java backend that provides the data is connected to the Cloudant service. So on Bluemix, I'm going to go ahead and open the Cloud Foundry Java app, which is the backend server. And I will open the connections where you can see the database. Now I'll click on that. Here I created the Cloudant databases. So under databases, I created 3 databases: books, customers, and rentals. And let's focus on how I used a view to search for specific books in the book database. Every book has a list of tags, and if I want to look for books with a specific tag, I'm using this view that I can access from my business logic. And this is the code that I use to go through every tag list.
Good. And how did you use these inside your backend server? How did you access the Cloudant database?
In my Java code, I used the method getViewRequestBuilder with the name of the view as my input to get a builder to build the view request, and this is what I needed inside the business logic to get the relevant data.
Flora, thanks for sharing these cognitive library information. You did these in a very short time frame.
Yes, I needed about 4 weeks to build the application, but I also used this time to learn about the programming languages, Node.js and JavaScript, and all the web interface stuff.
Yes, you really started by scratch nothing. That's incredible.
Yeah, you could say so.
Thanks. We hope the information was useful for you, and thanks for watching.
Flora
and Thomas. Bye.
Bye.